Hey everybody, Ben here for the Bonehead podcast, and it's the NFL playoffs this weekend. They start, it's Super Wildcard weekend, and this is the beginning of a fair few weeks of some of the best NFL out there, and I'm super excited. I've loved the NFL for nearly 20 years now, I guess. Yeah, probably coming up about 20 years. Ever since I was flicking through the channels in the middle of the night, and I found Green Bay playing, and Brett Favre was the quarterback at the time, and man, that was a long time ago. And it was the game after his dad died, so it was very dramatic. It was very meaningful, and it was a heck of a game. It was a really solid game. It was brilliant. I was hooked immediately because I was like, oh, it's Blood Bowl on television. This is really good. And ever since then, I have loved the NFL and the Green Bay Packers. I'm an unabashed Green Bay Packers fan, although there are some other teams out there that I really like. Now, with the NFL wildcard weekend happening this weekend, I thought, you know what, I'll take 5 minutes and put together my picks because I thought it would be quite fun. Anyway, let's have a look at the wildcard weekend. But before we have a look at the games this weekend, I thought we'd give a quick rundown of how the playoffs work in the NFL. So the NFL's got 32 teams, and they're all divided into groups of 4 teams. There's 4 groups of 4 in the AFC, and there's 4 groups of 4 in the NFC. And basically, the top 7 from those 16 teams go through to the finals. It's the top team in each group plus the next 3 best records from each half of the league. And as you can see, you've got the split here. The AFC plays each other, the NFC plays each other, and then the best team from each of those divisions, conferences, play in the Super Bowl. That's how the Super Bowl started. So, you know, these teams play each other throughout the year. They've got a bit of a cool system where different groups will play different other groups each year. It's pretty well, I love it. It's very convoluted, but it works really well. But ultimately what happens is you get the best of one half of the league play against the best of the other half of the league in the Super Bowl, and that's why the Super Bowl is so super. Now, it's not quite as super as Super Wildcard Weekend, so how it works now is the top 7 teams from each conference, the top seeded one, so the team with the best record from each half of the league, gets the first week off. They just get an auto win. They get a bye. If you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, that's how that works. Used to work. So Green Bay Packers fan over here, the Packers storming the top of the league there, get the first week off. So they get to skip this round. They get an auto win, and they're straight away through to what essentially is the quarterfinals, then the semifinals, and then the final. So you've got all the other teams here. So teams 2 through 7 are going to play each other and then progress. So this guy progresses here, one of these teams progress here, one of these teams progress here. And that will be depending on their seeding. So the second top team will play the 7th team. Now, if you're playing in the Blood Bowl League, a lot of the finals are probably seeded like that as well. It's kind of reverse Swiss. Anyway, time to make my picks. I love the art. I could just see something really pro being done for Blood Bowl that works with this one. Anyway, the first game this weekend is the Las Vegas Raiders against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I'm going to do my very best to translate this into Blood Bowl terms wherever possible because it's quite fun. Now, the Raiders are a strong team. They're about smashing and kind of running through. Their QB, Derek Carr, is pretty good, and every now and again he'll throw a bomb and you'll just be like, dude, this guy's awesome. If I was going to say there was a team that the Raiders were, it would potentially be a Orc team. Okay, they've got that. They don't have a massive amount of speed, but they're good. They're good at brawling, and every now and again they're good at balling out as well. But on the other side, you've got a team that has developed an incredible knack for balling out. So the Cincinnati Bengals have been awful for a very long time. And then some stuff changed. They got a new head coach. They got a new star thrower. And then this year, they got a new star wide receiver. I mean, as much as I want to save Skaven for the Green Bay Packers, I think the Bengals are kind of the Skaven team in this league. So they've got that. They can brawl. They can do some running. They can do some fighting. But they are fast. This team can blow up teams. So we've got a really fast, agile, but fragile team, the Cincinnati Bengals, taking on a stompy, chunky, but very capable team in the Las Vegas Raiders. So Orcs versus Skaven, who am I going to give the edge to? You know what? The Bengals have been running really hot recently. I want the Raiders to just storm in because they've had a heck of a year. Their coach got fired. It went all bad. Then it got good again. And they're absolute warriors. Underdogs for the Raiders. But the Bengals, it's their time to shine. So I am going to go with the Bengals for this game. Now, this is happening today. I think I will probably be at Harry Potter World when this game goes live, but I'll watch the replays. Come on. Joe Burrow, their star thrower. I want to see some really cool work. So, the Patriots and the Bills are the second game this weekend. The Pats have been good for as long as I can remember. So you got the Patriots up here and you got the Bengals down here. Then the Patriots lost Tom Brady and they had one slightly subpar season. I think they went 7-9 last year and everyone was like, whoa, Patriots not so good. Turns out they were fine. Now they've got a new QB, Mac Jones, and he's above average, okay? Mac Jones is the Imperial Nobility thrower of Blood Bowl. He's good enough. All right, and their team has got really solid defense and a really solid control game. The Patriots this season are definitely the nobility team of Blood Bowl, and they started off a bit rusty. They've got some new teams playing, and they've finished really, really strong. They dropped a 50 burger the other day, 50 points in a game, which is absolutely monstrous for NFL. That's like winning 5-0 in Blood Bowl, and they're playing against the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Bills are a really difficult team to kind of put a label on when it comes to the NFL. Now, their thrower is a big lad, and he can make some brilliant throws, and they've got a good throw and catch game, and they've got an excellent kind of run game as well. The Bills can do it all, but it has to kind of go together well. So I'm kind of thinking that we've got nobility in the Patriots versus humans here in the Buffalo Bills. Now, from a Blood Bowl aspect, that's a pretty close match. And when it comes to the NFL, that is as well, because the Patriots and the Buffalo Bills have played each other once already. They're in the same group, essentially. And they're 1-1 for this season. The Pats destroyed the Bills in the snow. Okay, we've all been there and rolled a blizzard. And the Bills took their revenge against the Patriots a couple of weeks later. It is a big time, though, the playoffs. It's dramatic and it's powerful, and the odds are high. So I think Belichick, who is the head coach of the Patriots, is incredible. The guy has got unnecessary skills. But come on, I think they're going to do a great job, and I think the Bills are just going to win out. The Bills have got more experience. They're a seasoned team. The Bills are in their third, fourth good season. The Pats are kind of just rebuilding. They're having they're rebuilding the year last year, and now the Pats are on the way up. So I think we're going to have to give it to the Bills, and I think they're going to win by only a touchdown, maybe 10 points tops. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be like 28-21 Bills. Bills are going to get it for me for this round there. But I'm enjoying the Patriots story this year. There's no Brady, so it's kind of like, it's a new team again. Right, talking of Tom Brady, this team here is where he went to. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the reigning Super Bowl champions. The Super Bowl last year was just a gore fest. Okay, the Bucs just destroyed the opposing team. And they're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles, who are sneaky good. Okay, the Eagles started quite bad. All right, they kind of got a new setup, maybe their second year or year and a half, basically, of their new quarterback and their new team. And it didn't go great at the beginning. But then they've developed this ability to just run, and run really well, okay? Their quarterback is super fast as well. So the Philadelphia Eagles have got this big running game. Now, the Bucs are supposed to be really good at run defense, okay? It's what they do. That's not been the case over the last kind of 6 weeks. The Buccaneers have kind of gone soft. However, let's talk about this in Blood Bowl terms. The Bucs here are the Black Hawk team, okay? They've got a big front, and they got a pretty explosive game around the edges. They are Black Hawks plus, okay? Well, you know what? Maybe they're Black Hawks. Maybe they're Lizardmen. You know, they've got fast dudes, and they've got meat as well. I think the Bucs have upgraded themselves to Lizardmen. Yeah, I think that's appropriate. Now, the Eagles are a weird team. This is one of the teams of legend. The Eagles are basically like Amazons. They can do a lot of stuff sometimes. Now, if they can get that running game sorted, they'll be in for it. This is going to be either a complete slaughter where the Bucs go, oh, it's the playoffs, time to actually play properly, and when the Bucs come to play, it is absolute decimation. Sadly, the Packers have felt that in the last couple of years, and the Eagles, they're on the up, and it will be a sporty game. I think they will have some breakthroughs, they'll have some great runs, but ultimately the Buccaneers, I think, are just going to win by at least 10 points here. The Eagles are cool, and it's great to see a team that's been great, struggled, and come back up again. That's the story of the NFL, but it is not this weekend. This weekend, it's going to go to the Bucs for this game. Right, next up, San Francisco 49ers against the Dallas Cowboys. So, interesting pair of teams here. This is the elf-off. Both of these teams, when they work out, are fire. Pure fire. The Dallas Cowboys have put up some of the most points this season. The first kind of half of the season, it was like, what is this? This is outrageous. They were just ruffle stomping all of their opponents. And it was pretty cool to see. Dak Prescott got injured. He was their quarterback. He's come back, and the dude is playing on point. They've got a couple of great running backs. Strong all-round team here. Not the most through the air, but they can definitely put it off. These guys are wood elves in my mind because of that ability to score, because of that ability when it goes well, they can be outrageous, because they've got the cool ground game, but they can still throw it through the air very well as well. We've got wood elves versus the 49ers are actually a pretty decent ground and pound team. But Garoppolo can also throw really, really well. I kind of thought this was a bit of an elf-off, but actually, I don't want to give the 49ers Dark Elves, but hey, ultimately, the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys, it's going to be an interesting one. The Cowboys have got more completion. They're more of a complete team than the 49ers, but the 49ers, if they dice out, they can do brilliantly well. I kind of thought it was an elf-up, but now I'm feeling like the 49ers are more like a halfling team. You know, if things line up well, they will destroy the other team. It's going to be It's going to be a battle of the front, okay? So their big lads, their line of scrimmage guys are going to be brawling here. San Fran's got a little bit more of a faster air game, but the Cowboys are just more of a complete team. Cowboys edge this one, I think. But I could see it going either way, but it's going to be the Cowboys, I reckon. They're more consistent. They know who they are, even though the last 6 weeks have not been who they wanted to be. This is a weird game. Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl the year before last. They were in the Super Bowl last year. Their quarterback nearly got murdered in that game. It was horrific. I felt really bad for him. Then I realized that he's paid about $1 billion. So I felt better about that. Now, the Steelers are weird. The Steelers should not be in the playoffs, and the Steelers have been decent for forever. Okay, their coach is amazing. Their quarterback is not. Like, this guy is 7 foot tall and 7 foot wide. Big Ben Roethlisberger. This is his last season, and he is as surprised as anyone that they made it into the playoffs. It just was one of those, like, got a good enough record, another team lost, and they ended up being the last team through the gate. Now, the Steelers are fine. They've got some cool stuff going on, but they are in... This is like the last year before they start rebuilding. They've got some cool, they've got Claypool, they've got some cool wide receivers, and Big Ben can throw every now and again, but he is your star thrower 5 years after he should have stopped playing. Can't move very well. He can throw okay. He's got leadership skills, and the team is strong, but the Kansas City Chiefs could and should just destroy the Steelers here. But they might not, because the Chiefs have not been consistent. They've been really inconsistent. They've shown flashes of just top scoreability, but they've not pulled it through. I think the Chiefs are kind of like another Skaven team here, and the Steelers are very much like a big, chunky bash team. I'm thinking the Steelers are kind of like dwarves here. They're all about just fighting, and there's not a lot of speed. There's a bit of speed. There's not a lot of flash. It's about consistency, grindy. There's somewhere between Chaos Dwarves, actually. No, too good. Anyway, the Chiefs here should destroy the Steelers. This is the Chiefs to lose, basically. It depends how tight they play. It is the playoffs, and in the playoffs you see these teams that have struggled on their cohesiveness. They tend to pull it together. The Bucks and the Chiefs here, they know how to win in these big matches, and I think the Chiefs are going to be able to destroy the Steelers. I kind of hope they do, because as a Packers fan, I don't like the Steelers very much. Right, and we've also got the Arizona Cardinals against the Los Angeles Rams. So these are some really cool teams. These are some of my favorite NFC teams. So the Cardinals have had some bad years. They've had a couple of good years now, and their quarterback is outrageous. He is a tiny man, but he is lightning fast and is an outrageous thrower. He's got to be one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. He's like Patrick Mahomes is just, the guy has got dodge step. Okay, you cannot catch him. And then you've got Kyler Murray, who's running for the Arizona Cardinals, who's just even sport. He's like, if you thought, man, I wish there was a really awesome goblin thrower. That's who the Cardinals are here. So the Cardinals, for me, are kind of like a Renegades team. They're just a mix of stuff. They've got some great players on defense. They've got some really explosive ability when they want to. It's just whether or not they can pull it together. They went something like 9-0, 10-0. And then they've just been terrible the last couple of months. The Packers managed to beat them with their reserve team, essentially, because Aaron Rodgers was out. And I woke up the next day and I was like, oh, well, they beat them? What is this? And since then, the Cardinals have just not had a lot of consistency. Now, the Rams also kind of struggle with this. Now, they've picked up a great new quarterback in Matt Stafford, who used to play for the Detroit Lions, who the Packers would play every season twice because they were in the same group. Stafford is an awesome thrower, but he throws too much, and there is this thing where he will throw those interceptions. This team kind of saw it with their last QB with Goff, and they upgraded to Stafford in their minds, and the same things happen. Stafford has got an unnecessarily long bomb arm. Okay, this team is just built to be strong on the front and to have some incredible deep strike ability. I love the Rams. The Cardinals are fast, they're nippy, they're zippy. I don't even know who these teams are going to be. This game could go anywhere. The Cardinals could just drop 40 points on the Rams here, but the Rams could contain the Cardinals and beat them up. I think the Cardinals can win this, but I want the Rams to win. And I think they've got that ability to contain. And if they can contain this goblin quarterback, Kyler Murray, I think they can win. So I'm going to go with the Rams for this one, I think. And that is all the games for the wild card weekend. Okay, so quick review of my picks. We had Kansas City beating the Steelers. We had the Bills beating the Pats. We had the Bengals beating the Oakland Raiders, so that'll be an interesting one going into the second round. You'll see Kansas City take the top spot here, and then I think they'll end up playing against the Bills, and then I think the Bengals will drop down there. Anyway, those are my picks for the AFC. NFC is going to be Bucks taking this one, going up here. Then you've got Cowboys versus 49ers, and I think the Cowboys are going to pull that one out there. And then the Rams edging out the Cards. So could be Rams versus Packers. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be some good games. If you're not that much into the NFL, then thank you for watching. If you are into the NFL, let me know what you think of my picks. I'm just doing this for fun, and I'll do it for every round because I love the NFL and I love Blood Bowl, and they are just the same thing. They're not at all, but they are, but they're not. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy footballing. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content. We get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.